Angela Fazio is an industry powerhouse who has overseen 40,000 homes sold and $9 billion in production. And Kristen Cantrell is one of the nation's most accomplished team leaders, helping thousands of agents build their businesses. They are passionate about educating, encouraging, and empowering moms in real estate. Our next episode starts now.
Hey, you guys, I am Kristen Cantrell.
I'm Angela Fazio. You're watching Moms in Real Estate.
And today we get the pleasure of talking to Katelynn Voorhees.
Yes, she has a full-time job. She's a student trying to pursue a degree, and she still produces $2 million in her spare time.
And a fun fact about her last name is the same last name as a serial killer. Wait, it's Friday the 13th? Or what's his name? Freddy Krueger.
Friday the 13th?
Katelynn Voorhees.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is a really fun fact. I feel like when everyone asks you, tell something fun about yourself, I would be saying that all the time.
I would say that. My fun facts aren't that fun.
Mine
No,
either.
they're not.
That one's good. That one's good. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My maiden name is Cashin, so I used to tell people like cash in your money, cash in your check. So now I have another fun last name. So a little bit about myself. I live in the Phoenix area, and I been here for almost 20 years. Like Angela said, I work in real estate. I hire agents at a brokerage here in town. I do real estate deals on the side, and I'm going to school full time to pursue a degree in psychology. So first and foremost, on a personal level, I love Jesus. I'm married to my best friend, which is a total blessing. We have 2 daughters, my stepdaughters. One is in college and one lives at home with us. She's a senior in high school. And I have 2 fur babies. So they were quarantine puppies. They just turned a year old. One's a lab, one's a golden retriever, and they're psycho. We were just talking about how they're almost as hard as children at times, but I love them just the same. So yeah, that's about me.
I am so sad I didn't get a quarantine dog. I wish I would have. I need to get another one.
Mine's like kind of mid-quarantine.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I love about your whole path in real estate is it's so nice to just show the different ways that we can come into real estate. It doesn't have to look the same for everybody. And you found a path where you're able to do real estate, you're able to go to school, and you're able to have a job in real estate, which is so cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's a lot on my plate, and it's a lot but it's a lot of multiple hats that I wear. But I feel like as women and as moms too, we're always juggling those multiple hats. So I love how real estate gives me that flexibility to be able to squeeze in, any extra income that I can make or extra time that I have to be able to help others either buy or sell a house.
How long is it going to take for you to get your degree, and why are you getting that?
So I'm really passionate about helping others, especially with my past and things that I've been through. It's my heart to help others and to be able to support them. So for me, I'm more than likely going to go all the way to a PhD. So I have quite a ways left. I'm trying to take everything day by day, semester by semester. I'm currently finishing up my bachelor's. So I still have a ways to go. But that's really my heart, is to help people. And that's one of the reasons why I love real estate, because it's really truly about helping others.
It is. I was just talking to an agent yesterday. Wonderful. Jaquetta. Wait till you meet her. Anyway, she was talking about how, and we were talking about how it's like so stressful to buy a house. Now, everyone who's in real estate realizes this, but you've got to realize it over and over and over so that we can have a good heart for people. They're doing the most stressful thing, and it's always in conjunction with another most stressful thing. Always. Weddings, divorces, children, new job, lost a job,
Yeah, exactly. Usually when you're buying or selling a house, it is in conjunction. And there's statistical evidence that shows that it's always in conjunction with some big life change. So it's a very stressful, but also very rewarding purchase. And I think, kind of the joke of being a real estate agent is you're like a firefighter, you're a therapist, you're also a real estate agent. You're kind of all those things for your client. So For me, I want to be able to help people through therapy and recovery. And so I'm practicing while I do real estate,
Good practice.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, like, how do you find it that you're able to balance all of those things? Because that's a lot of moving parts. So how do you do that?
Honestly, it's not myself. It's my faith. I was watching previous podcasts for moms in real estate, and really it's about, you guys touched on being authentic.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, you froze.
What should we do?
I think she said we talked about being authentic.
I know we did. That's for sure.
We sure did.
Well, we can carry the conversation. She'll come back. You're back.
Oh, you're back.
Sort of.
Oh,
Are you guys there?
yes, now we are.
Okay. So really it's about just being intentional with how I start my day, and believing that, something good's going to happen today. I don't know what the day is going to look like. I can have a plan for how the day goes, but it's really just believing that something good is going to happen today. I start out every morning listening to a positive message. Usually it's a sermon. I pray with my husband, and then I just go off into the day. And so it's really about starting the day right. And I'll admit, like, I'm totally far from perfect. And the days that I don't start out my day intentional and trying to have that positive mindset, my day usually is a disaster. And that's okay, because there's days that even I do start out my day with the right mindset that it ends up being a disaster. But I try to find the good that happened that day, and it helps me carry on to the next. So it's really believing and having that powerful positive mindset every day, like taking one day at a time and not going too far out in the future, because that's where you start telling yourself lies, and you start getting discouraged, and you start thinking that it's just not going to work. And so, that's the joke with my husband and I is, are you going out in the future? Like, are you going too far out? And sometimes that's even where plans can be disruptive, to your success. You want to have a plan, but you also want to know that I'm open to the plan changing at any time. Whatever that looks like, I'm okay with making a detour. And I think we all experienced that this last year. I mean, nobody expected to get shut down. And I remember I was like showing houses in the middle of quarantine, and it was so weird and awkward, and, signing waivers and going in and with masks, and it was so weird. And, you can't really plan for that. And I thought, okay, real estate's going to go down the toilet, and it didn't. If anything, it went the opposite direction. So for me, it's always about being willing to take that detour in my plans, and not being so married to how I need things to be, how I need my day to go, and just rolling with it. If you talked to me 10, 15 years ago, I would never see myself here. I would have never thought that I would be in real estate or have the life that I have and be blessed so much. And so, my plan 10 years ago, if you asked me what my 10-year plan was, it would have been something totally different than what it is today. So, it's just about taking one day at a time, being intentional, being positive, and really having that, support around you. And that's what I love about what you guys are doing with this Moms in Real Estate, is because there are a lot of single moms out there that don't have the support from a spouse, or they don't have support from their family. And this really is creating a special space for women to support each other and to encourage each other. So I love it. It's awesome.
Thank you. We love it too. It's totally our passion. And one of the things you made me think of that I've been rolling around in my head for days now, not that I've never thought about it before, but not as deep as I think about it now, is God is literally causing and allowing every single thing, from the breath you take to the food you ate yesterday. And He's in control, and He will work all things for good for those who love Him. And so that delights me. I love Him, so He's working all things for my good. So I'm like, I have this attitude, this wonder, like this childlike wonder, how will you delight me today? Because He delights in delighting us. And things go bad and things fall apart, and that's okay. But He's here. He also delights us. If you look for it, it's everywhere.
Well, it's so funny that you say that verse because my girlfriend just sent that verse to me this morning, and it resonates so strongly with me.
What's the chance of that? That is crazy.
That's our God. That's the God we serve.
I know, and that's the thing is that's really what keeps me going. I feel a void when I'm not allowing, that relationship that I have with Jesus into that space, to fill me up, to keep me going. So really, it's really, I keep going because of him. One of the hardest years I've ever had was back in 2017, 2018, around that time. And, that was honestly the time I was closest to Jesus, is during those trials and during when I feel like I'm a mess and everything's falling apart. And I look back and I'm like, I have no idea how I made it through that. But I know that it was just staying positive, taking one day at a time, letting him give me the strength, and having that support group around me of people that I trust and that I love and that I know that they want what's best for me. And another thing about, going back to just being authentic is, I have always felt like, originally I was in the fitness arena, and it was all about, how you come off, how you look, how toned you are, fit you are, how you look in, photos and this and that. And it's so not fulfilling. It's so unauthentic. And so, from a young age, I've always been about putting on a mask, no pun intended with this, 2020 COVID, but putting on a mask and being someone who's not authentic, being who I think other people want me to be. And I'm learning, and it's cool because I even see in culture and society nowadays, it's actually, people are responding a lot more when you're authentic, when you're genuine, when you show like, I'm a mess, a few weeks ago, you guys were talking to a mom who has young children, and she's like, I have a kid on my hip and a stroller and I'm showing houses, and it's all about, this is who I am. Like, if you don't like me, cool. If you do, awesome. We're going to be best of friends. And it's just being who you are and not being scared to show others that. And I really feel like that attracts more success, honestly, instead of just trying to hide behind that mask per se.
Oh my gosh, you're 100%,
right. 100%.
Yeah. We were talking to Nicole Wilhelm, who's in the Bay Area, and she said something that's sticking with me. And she was talking about being authentic. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know what the value of being authentic is because if you're not, one day you're going to look around and go, who are all these people that are around me? I don't like them. Well, it's your fault because you weren't being yourself. Yeah. If you're yourself, you're going to attract like good people,
Exactly. Well, and even in relationships, dating is so scary and hard. And I'm married to my best friend, and it's honestly, I never would have thought that we would have ended up married. We were just friends. We were authentic and genuine, and didn't hide from each other. And it ended up turning into something more. And it was a Jesus thing. It was a Jesus relationship, but it was because the masks were got down. And so, and that goes for, romantic relationships in business or real estate. And even with your children, I was watching this podcast yesterday, and they were talking about how, when you're authentic with your children and you let them know that you're not perfect, you make mistakes. And, if there's something that happens, if you're just real and honest with them and say, I don't know how this is going to work out. Well, we're going to do this together. We're going to figure it out together. It almost, you get the reward of respect in a deeper way when you do that, instead of just trying to pretend like everything's fine, don't worry about it. And as women, I think we always try to portray that we're strong and that we have it all together, especially for our kids. I mean, even my stepdaughter, I want her always to think highly of me, but there's been situations where I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have it figured out, but it's okay. I know you don't either. Like we're going to go through this together, and we're here together. And so it's just consistently being the example, and just being raw and real and genuine and still positive at the same time, still keeping things positive and having the faith that, you know what, I'm going to take one day at a time, and I'm going to find the good in that day. So.
Yep. I love it. I feel like I always hear like random people in real estate that they ask like, well, what do I wear? Like, am I allowed to wear flip-flops or whatever? And I'm like, why is there this thing where you have to like dress nice in real estate? I'm
talking to the wrong two people.
Yeah, talking to the wrong people. I'm like, you can be successful and wear jeans and slides if you want. Like, you are attracting people. Like, I'll never wear like, what are they called? Like the women's suits or whatever, because I would be so uncomfortable all day. Like, I don't even know how I would come across. So even when it comes to like social media, when people have like this perfect grid on Instagram, I'm like, that is so not me. Like, I'm a hot mess. If my Instagram looks like so structured, like that's just not even like someone's going to look at that probably and be like, oh, this person has the mask on, right? Like what they're trying to portray. So I'm always like, when I listen to like people teach Instagram and they're talking about that grid, I'm like, that to me makes no sense. Like, you're building this like false image of what your business is. I don't know. So
I've always been really envious in a good way of her, because I don't think you've ever been inauthentic, like probably in your whole life. No. I, like you, went through a whole stage where I felt like I had to please everyone around me. I was like, this person with this person, this person with that person, this person with this person. And all of a sudden I couldn't remember who I was. I wasn't being me at all. Mm-hmm. Like, I went through that for a long time. Mm-hmm. Total people pleaser.
Her whole first marriage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. 100%. So I know the liberty that comes with, it's okay to be yourself, right? And that's
so funny. I saw this post this morning, and I shared it with my husband, but it said something about, basically, I don't know if you need to hear this today, but to all the people pleasers out there, like, there's people who aren't going to like you. And you know what? Who else had people not like them was Jesus, but he still went around doing good and blessing people. And so it kind of gave me a reality check, because it's easy to get stuck back in those old ways of wanting to people please and wanting people to like you and accept you and not comparing. Kristen, you talking about social media. I mean, I literally stopped posting anything on social media unless it was something that I really felt was safe, because I don't know how to make it look pretty for other people. Like, I compare, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl, her Instagram page looks amazing. It's all the same colors and it just flows so well. And I'm like, I don't have the time for that. So I just don't post unless it's something that I know is safe,
Yeah.
So it's hard not to compare. And I see, even what the teenagers are going through with social media.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Comparing and just, but I think it's so good for us to know as women that we do that, but also to be able to talk to our kids about that. We do that with real estate, other people who, for me, I've never been killing it in real estate. I'm not doing 30, 40, 50 transactions a year. I do it on the side. I do it for extra money. It's been a blessing to my family. But I get in this place where I compare myself. And you know what? If you're a mom and you're making an extra $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year doing real estate deals when you can, that's amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's amazing. If you're raising kids and you're just doing, I feel like some women, they feel like, oh my gosh, this other mom is doing 4 transactions a month and I'm only doing 1 every couple months. You know what? That is still incredible. And we're all on a journey, and all of our journeys look a little bit different depending on where you're at, So
I have to pray a lot about and this is just a true confession. I have to pray out the comparison thing.
Oh yeah.
I have to pray it out, because it's so hard not to constantly compare myself to others. And I know that's bad and awful, but those thoughts come in and I try to take them captive and throw them out.
Yeah.
Because it's horrible. It's it'll like choke you to death if you let that ruminate in your head.
Yeah. And it's so good that you recognize it, because I'll find myself like going down that rabbit hole, like, and I didn't even realize. Like, I'm comparing and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're doing this. And then I start looking at myself and I'm like, oh, I'm like a total mess. I have no idea. I need to get more organized, and I start, and then before I know it, I'm this complete rabbit hole 5 years down the road, telling myself lies that I'm not going to make it. And so I think as women, we need to hear that, like, we're okay right where we're at. And you just have to keep believing in yourself. For me, it's all about Jesus for me, and believing that, with God, like, anything is possible. And, even with our journey, our next step, we want to have children. And, I have 2 stepdaughters. They're basically one's already moved out, one still lives at home, but is going to move out in the next year. And so even to have a kid at this point would seem impossible, but we keep running against these stumbling blocks with infertility and just different things that come up. And it's like, you know what? Okay, this might seem impossible, but I believe in you, God, and I believe that you're going to make a way for this to happen. And we can take that in any area of our life.
Yeah, I agree. God, my gosh, I have so much to say to you when we get off camera. So much to say to you. But we got to see this funny.
We have to wrap it up with this funny comment.
Haha, my brother made fun of me when I got my license and said I had to get a Hillary Clinton.
Maybe that's why I will never wear a pantsuit. I don't ever want to be associated with that
Hillary Clinton. Yes, there we go. We just got political.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, Katelynn, let me just tell you something. I know that was a perfect way to end. Yeah, that was freaking awesome.
I'm posting that on my social media.
That was so good.
I have to admit, I still have pantsuits in my closet, and now I think I need to have like a bonfire one of these days.
No, they're actually really cute on people, but I just anytime I get that dressed up, I'm like, I don't even like to wear dresses, so don't throw out all your dresses. Or like I like jeans and t-shirts.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Well, anyway, you have been the most amazing blessing. Do not get off when we're done. You guys, I know you agree that this is probably one of our best episodes. I absolutely loved it. I hope you guys did. If you're listening to this and it's before April 22nd and 23rd, you still have time to sign up for the Flourish event. And we have incredible people speaking. We have incredible people flying in and coming in from the area. And it's going to be the first time that we ever get a bunch of moms in real estate or just women in general together for fellowship. And I'm so excited.
I can't wait. Yes.
Look at our Instagram. If you have a chance to come, please sign up. There's still some space for sure. And we hope to see you next week. Katelynn, thank you so much.
Of course. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.